What is land title insurance? It's a really important part of any commercial real estate transaction. You could do a 2-hour video about title insurance and what it is. I want to give you a simple definition in this video. It won't be 2 hours, just be a few minutes. So here's my definition, simple definition. Land title insurance is an insurance policy bought to protect a buyer or a lender against the risk that a seller doesn't own what they convey in the deed for the transaction. That's about it. There's not a lot more to title insurance than that. Pretty simple definition, right? What does that mean in the language of everyday people? Title insurance is insurance you buy from a company. That insurance is going to make sure that whoever's selling you a piece of real estate actually owns that piece of real estate. That's what it's for. That's what title insurance does. So, a couple things about title insurance. We're going to build on that definition a little bit. All land title insurance policies carry exceptions to insurance coverage. So it's just like when you go to buy insurance for your house or your car, there's always exceptions to coverage. I tell people a lot of those exceptions in your title insurance policy are big enough to drive a school bus through. So one of the frustrations that I have as someone that's involved in real estate is I think people intentionally or not often misrepresent what title insurance covers. There is a lot that title insurance doesn't cover. So title insurance is really important, and you need to have it, absolutely. But I tell people, thinking that title insurance is going to cover all of your potential problems with a parcel, it's like going out in a blizzard in a bikini, right? Title insurance just doesn't cover that much. So one thing title insurance is certainly not is a substitute for a good boundary survey. So there's a lot of exceptions to your title insurance policy. If you're going to be in the real estate business, you need to understand what those exceptions are and what the practical implications of them are. To get protection or compensation under a land title insurance policy, you have to submit a claim. So just like with your car insurance, if you get in a car accident, you have to call up your insurance company and tell them what happens if you're going to get that damage covered. So it's the same thing with land title insurance. In order to get protection or compensation, you have to call up, you have to file a claim with your title insurance company. It's called tender a claim. I highly recommend you have a land attorney do that for you if you're ever in that situation. Claims can be denied by land title insurance companies. Claims are often denied. Banks and buyers take their title insurance companies to court and argue over coverage. There's a lot of court cases about that, so it does happen. One thing I try and remind people of is land title insurance companies don't like to pay claims. They lose money when they pay claims. That doesn't mean that title companies never pay claims. They do occasionally pay claims, but they don't like to. They don't like to pay claims. So they have an incentive not to cover your claim. So you want to think about that. So what is covered in the typical, and kind of in air quotes, the typical land title insurance policy? It's basically going to cover three things. It's going to protect you if a seller didn't have a good title. So what do I mean when I say the seller didn't have good title to what they sold you? If somebody sold you property they didn't own, the title insurance company is going to cover that. If someone sold you property and maybe they own that property but they weren't authorized to sell it, the title insurance company is going to cover that. And you might think, when would that happen? That sounds silly. So I'll give you an example. I could sell you my property here at my house on Kimball Lane in Stockton, and I could sign the deed to you, but my wife is a tenant with me here. She's part owner. You need both of us to sign the deed, right? Or you've got a problem. Okay, so even though I do own the property, right? I have a tenant. I have they call it tenant in common. My wife is part owner. So I'm not authorized to sell the property with just my signature, right? I need her permission or her signature to be able to do that. And then the title company is going to insure you for any burdens on the property that aren't disclosed in what typically that's done in the title report. So if there's an easement or a lease or some other a burden on the property that's in the public record and the title company doesn't disclose that, and you find out about it, they can have to compensate you for the consequences of that misdisclosure. So that's what title insurance is. That's basically what it covers. There's a lot of nuances to title insurance. It's really important to understand those if you're going to be a land developer or you're going to be in commercial real estate as an investor. Bottom line, get title insurance, work with a good title insurance company, and make sure you understand what you're buying.